This is Manjula from Bangalore.
Hello,
I
hello.
also had a cancer in 2016. I went through all the process and I recovered. I'm recovered and now I'm healthy and happy, sir. And I'm working as a freelancer.
Okay, great. Very nice to have you here, Madam Neha ji, Manjula ji. Very nice to have you.
Thank
I
you,
think
thank you, sir. Thank you.
we'll today hear from you, and also maybe you can also participate and share your experiences of how things worked out for you. Okay, I think one Veena Madam has also joined the session. So, Veena Madam, can you hear me? Can you start your camera and unmute and maybe give a quick one-line introduction for today? Hello.
Good morning, Chinmay. Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you please switch on your camera also?
Yeah. 2 minutes.
Yeah. Hi.
Yeah.
Hello. Good morning.
Hi. Good morning.
Yeah. Thanks for participating. Yeah, okay, if you can just quickly introduce yourself.
Yeah. Uh, I thought the session was at around 12 o'clock. So just saw your message and I logged in. Okay. I I am a banker and I reside in Mumbai.
Okay. Great.
And it is recently that I underwent a lumpectomy. It was an early stage that was detected with HER2 positive. So recently I underwent lumpectomy. It's 6 months. Post that I have completed the chemo and the radiations also. And currently the hormonal therapy has been started. So yes, like everybody has doubts. So even I have a few of the doubts. But yes, the past few months have been a very different experience, uh, considering the ailment and the number of researchers or the sessions that I have attended to understand so that I can take the right decision for myself.
Sure.
So basically, what I'm looking from this session is definitely good inputs which will help me take the right kind of decision for the further course of action that I need to take, because somewhere in the mind it is like, more of medicines should not do harm to me, because I have been leading a healthy lifestyle. So I was really means surprised when this thing occurred, and because of my healthy lifestyle, I could go through whatever was the treatment that was given, and the, I would say, the complexities of the treatment that I could take. But then yes, when we say no that these medicines are hard medicines, and to कुछ मतलब सही करने के लिए कहीं कुछ और इम्पैक्ट हो जाता है,
Correct.
तो
Correct.
मेरा फोकस अभी वही है कि मुझे गाइड किया जाए कि आगे के ट्रीटमेंट को कैसे कंटिन्यू करना है या फिर मेंटली कैसे प्रिपेयर करना है। एंड देन ये हार्मोनल थेरेपी में वेरिन दे से कि ये मेडिसिन कंटिन्यू करना है, प्लस जो टेमोक्सिफिन टैबलेट्स है उसके बारे में, बेसिकली हार्मोनल थेरेपी को लेकर आई एम अ लिटिल बिट एप्रीहेंसिव. So let's see
Okay.
whether today's session I get inputs on that. How do I take it ahead?
Okay.
Thank you.
So thank you for sharing your journey, Veena ma'am. We wish the best for you. तो आज के
Thanks.
सेशन में so I'll just take a quick feedback. So आज के सेशन में whether I mean we can have a mix of Hindi and English. I think both is possible. I think people here are
Yeah.
comfortable with both. So people can give feedback because Priyanka madam is here with us today and she is going to share her journey. So आज हमारे हमारे पैनल में जो attendees हैं उनमें कोई स्पेशलिस्ट डॉक्टर नहीं है. We wanted to make this more of a support discussion where we share each other's journeys and make it see
Hmm.
how from a patient's perspective people who have undergone this उनके experiences हम आज share करेंगे और what learnings we can derive from those experiences is what we will do. So we don't have any medical expert in the session. Just wanted to set the expectations right. But it's more of a inter support discussion that we will have. But anyway, I quickly introduce myself before I pass the discussion to Priyanka madam. So my name is Chinmay. I am based in Bangalore. I stay in Jayanagar, and I actually run a social enterprise on cancer care. I started this to ensure how people can adopt all these different methods that we have today. So we have yoga, meditation, diet, nutrition, or treatment to hai, conventional treatment methods to hai, and it's the treatment process is long. So how the whole idea of me taking or driving this initiative is to help people really adopt all these different methods in a meaningful way. Plus क्या होता है कि every patient starts his journey and he starts his own process of discovery. जैसे अभी वीना मैडम ने भी शेयर किया, she is in her own process of discovery, finding out more information, finding out all these different things about disease and treatment process और all these things. So this ये जो journey है हर एक patient और हर एक जिसको ये affect हो जाता है, they start this journey on themselves. So my little role here would be to see how I can really accelerate this information finding process, how I can connect people to authentic people and practitioners and also help them adopt these different methods. So this is what I am doing. And so in that process, I am trying to see how and help people adopt different methods like yoga, nutrition, mental well-being. कैसे कर सकते हैं? So this is the thing that I'm doing. And today, Priyanka madam is also helping me with this cause. So she herself is a breast cancer survivor or has two young nice kids herself. She is an entrepreneur also. She participates with her husband in their family business and she is based out of Bangalore and she has had a remarkable journey. So I'll pass on the discussion to her and let's hear from her and feel free to have questions and even so I think many people here, Veena madam is there, Manjula madam, Neha madam, they have their own experiences. So I encourage you to share and correlate so that we can all gather more information from this discussion. So Priyanka madam, all yours. You can introduce yourself and maybe if you want, you can share your screen also.
Namaste everyone. Very good morning. My name is Priyanka Garg and I'm here today to share my experience of healing from breast cancer. First of all, I would like to thank Mr. Chinmay Kale and Anway Wellness for giving me this opportunity to share my experience and we are just trying to make a little difference in the life of cancer fighters. And I'm also proud to be a part of his campaign to create cancer awareness and make little difference in the lives of others. And if we can make a difference in life of even one person, I think it's all worth it. So I would like to say that I'm not a doctor or an expert in this field, yes, but I have faced cancer, I have gone through it and I have overcome it. So I'll be just sharing my journey and maybe, anyone can get little benefit out of it. I'll be very thankful. Okay, to begin with, I would like to give a little brief introduction about what I was in BC. BC doesn't mean before Christ. I'm not that old. BC for me is before cancer. So I was born as a fifth daughter to my parents in Rajasthan. And when I was 3 years old, we came to Bangalore. So basically, I'm a Bangalorean. Dedicated, hardworking, and enthusiastic. I always had big dreams. I was always a school topper. I graduated from Mount Carmel College in Bangalore, and I got married at the age of 21. And by 25, I was a mother of two. So caught up in the responsibilities at home and with kids, I didn't get any chance to fulfill my dreams. Then after 14 years of my marriage, I started working with my husband in his tent house manufacturing. And it was like a dream come true for me. I was no more a housewife. I was a working person and very well I could manage my home, my kids. I used to take care of my parents, my in-laws, my hobbies, dancing, kitty parties, everything was managed by me perfectly. And it was very hectic for me, but I enjoyed that time. And everything was going on smoothly. But in June 2018, that time I was 36 years old, I noticed the unexpected thing, noticed a lump in my right breast. And the first thought that came to my mind was, no, it can't be me. but then I feared that yes, it could be me. So I went to a gynecologist to get it checked. It was little painful. So she said it may not be cancerous, but she asked me to undergo ultrasound scan. And in the ultrasound scan, it didn't show a good picture. So I was guided by one of my friends to meet Dr. Mahesh in HCG hospital. I met him and he told whether it is cancerous or not, it has to be operated. So immediately he did biopsy and confirmed, by 2 days he confirmed that yes, it was cancerous. And his team, they gave me a 10 months treatment plan. And there was so much of information bombarded on me. I couldn't take everything. I got so confused. That time I visited around 5 to 6 oncologists in Bangalore to understand actually what was happening. And I was totally confused and couldn't take the decision. But then I had to settle down in to one person. So I decided, okay, I'll just get myself treated under Dr. Mahesh in HCG hospital. And he promised me good chances of recovery, because breast cancer is supposed to be the least risky one amongst all the cancers. So he promised me a good chance of recovery. But I was totally confused. In this context, I would like to tell that be it any kind of sickness or cancer or anything, I think second and third opinion really matters, because what I noticed was the senior doctors who are like above 60 years of age or 70 years of age, they had a different approach when compared to the doctors who were in their 40s and 50s. So they believed in conventional method, the senior doctors. They didn't believe in the test called BRCA test. So that is a gene test. And the younger doctors, they believed in that BRCA test. And I had a strong history of cancer. My mother had cancer and her sisters had cancer. So they insisted on BRCA test to be done, which takes a little time for the report to come. So I thought that when I have another option, so I went for the modern approach. So I got myself tested for BRCA, and that report needed around 1 month to come. So doctors told that by the time the report comes, I can start off with my chemo sessions, and then maybe I can decide about my surgery after the BRCA report. So I was totally confused. And like any other person for whom the cancer is newly detected, when I was depressed and totally broken, I thought my life would never be normal again. And I have to live with this all my life, and it's like my life is totally gone. But I started my treatment with these thoughts, but during the treatment and after the treatment, my thoughts were completely changed. I was a changed person, more stronger and more enthusiastic. So this is exactly what I want to share with you all today, my journey of becoming a stronger person than I was before. So I would like to just share the treatment plan, what treatment was planned for me. So this was the treatment that was planned by the team of HCG doctors. That was 4 cycles of chemotherapy with 21 days gap, followed by surgery, and then again 12 cycles of chemotherapy weekly once for 12 weeks. That followed by radiotherapy, and that followed by hormone therapy. So this was the treatment plan they had given me, which as it is looked very scary, but then I had no other option. I had to start with it. So a PICC line was inserted in my left arm for the chemo insertion. And on June 12th, I was diagnosed with cancer. And by June 19th, like within a week, my first chemotherapy started. So the chemotherapy, I was admitted for that in the hospital for 1 day. And as soon as the therapy started, I started getting the symptoms. Maybe it was psychological or I don't know, because of the medicine. I started getting vomiting, nausea, started feeling weak. But then there was no other option. I had to overcome that. I was like, I have to live with it. But then doctors guided me how to overcome the symptoms, and they were all ready to help me. So they gave me certain precautions which I took during the chemotherapy sessions. First thing was that chemotherapy need to accept it. It's if you just start hating it, it will not work. Maybe the medicines will work, but the actually for it to work, you need to accept it. Okay, it is a treatment. It is a healing thing for me. It's not a bad thing. It will heal me. It will make my lifespan longer if it will cure the cancer. So with that thought, I just accepted it. Okay, I will, whatever it is, I will take it. So first thing was acceptance. Second, I ate in small frequent quantities, like small quantities frequently. And nutrition is the part which has to be paid more attention. We have to eat very nutritious food. Homemade cooked food is what I prefer, not raw food. And lot of nuts. I'm a vegetarian, so I had only the energy rich food was only nuts. So I ate lot of nuts. Then fluid intake is very important. It should be like 3 times of what we were taking before the treatment. So fluid, any kind of fluid, soup, juice, uh, the barley water, maybe some fresh lime, any kind of plain water, ORS, anything. But fluid intake is very important. Then little bit of walking was required to digest whatever we were eating, little things we were eating, because the digestive system becomes really weak. And rest is very important. A lot of rest is required. No, you cannot do any kind of hard work. So resting is very important. And at the same time need to be occupied with little work, not all the time, sitting oh, I am sick, I have to just take rest. It's not like that. Occupied with light work. And stress is the biggest friend of cancer. So it's the best friend of cancer. So if we have to get rid of cancer, then stress has not to be there. Stress, like there should be absolutely no stress, mental or physical. Then I avoided crowded places, going out, just to avoid infection. The immunity level is totally gone. So avoiding infection is the only way to keep yourself, normal. And maintain cleanliness. Cleanliness again to avoid infection. So avoid any dusts and any other sort of infection related. So cleanliness also has to be taken care. The difficulties that I faced, these were the instructions that I got from the doctor to be maintained, and I was trying my level best to keep up to it, but it was not possible to, keep everything up to the mark. But I also had a lot of difficulties. First was that house arrest was totally at home. Before that, I used to run around full day, never at home, only no whole day I used to be out. But during the treatment, I need to be there at home, so that became very difficult. Then fatigue, nausea, constipation. Sometimes I used to have severe episodes of constipation, and sometimes severe episodes of loose motions that I could just not wait even for a second. Then a lot of weakness and temper. My temper used to be very high, always irritated. So these were the problems I faced, and whatever daily chores what I was doing before very easily became a challenge for me. I couldn't do anything, and that was also raising my temper and causing irritation that I'm not able to do. Sometimes I used to find difficult to open the tablet, take out the tablet from the cover. I became that weak. So I used to find difficult to lift things. If something is fallen down, I couldn't lift it back. So the little things, I got irritated that, oh my God, what's wrong with me? I'm not able to do such things, and I've really become dependent on others. Then morning sickness was there, too much of morning sickness. Morning is the time when we ladies have the most, the peak time of the work to pack the tiffins and breakfast and lunch and uh, everything else in the house. So that time the sickness was more. So that time became very difficult to manage. And I felt helpless due to weakness. So, as I told you, certain little things I couldn't do. I couldn't lift anything. I couldn't pick anything. Couldn't break or even cut. So that little things became very difficult. And my nails got blackened. My fingers became weak. So basically, I felt that I've become one handicapped person. So all these thoughts I had, and the difficulties I faced, and the most difficult one was losing hair. And I was so scared the moment the cancer was diagnosed for me. I think most of us can relate to that. The first fear that came to my mind was losing hair. I was really scared, but then I got myself a wig made before I lost my hair. I knew I would lose, so before itself I got a wig done, and I used to wear a wig, and I got chemo caps. Used to wear caps. I didn't have the courage to go out just like that, so I used to wear wig and chemo caps. But slowly, actually, I realized that baldness was very comfortable. No hair hassles. So I became okay with it after some time. So initially, I was really scared. You comb your hair after, I think, 2 weeks after the first chemo. You start losing the hair. So the moment I combed my hair and I saw the comb full of hair, it was so scary. And then when I looked into the mirror, I could see my scalp. So that was very scary. And I stopped touching my hair, and I tried to save it, but that lasted only for 10 more days, 10 to 15 more days. So then I just lost all my hair, but then I got used to it. And that also I was okay. I started enjoying that baldness, actually, no hair hassles. And eventually we lose all the hair on our body. So that beauty parlor ka kharcha bhi, it was saved. So no need to go to beauty parlor at all. No need of threading, waxing. So I took it that way. Some way we have to see positive things. So I was like, okay, now there is no need to go to beauty parlor, and I'm all clean, no hair at all. So that way that was handled. Then at this time of trauma, I met Dr. Brunda. She's a psycho-oncologist in HCG hospital. She's a counselor. I took counseling sessions from her, and she guided me. Her counseling sessions work like magic for me. And I strongly recommend counseling sessions for all the cancer fighters or any other sickness fighters. The counseling really works. They don't give you any medicine, nothing. They just guide you. They take off all the fears in your mind. So that way it really helps. So she helped me with all the little issues I had, all the fears, and I became more confident and fearless after attending her counseling sessions. And I can never forget her because she guided me towards a new normal life. She told me, I was like, never I'm going to have any normal life in the future. So she was like, okay, normal life won't be there, but there will be a new normal life. So the new normal life will be better than the normal life, and it's in my hands how better I can make it. So she asked me, she guided me how I can be more self-centered and value my hard-earned life. So that way her sessions were very helpful. She solved all the little issues related to my family and uh, my kids and everything. So her sessions were very helpful, and I strongly recommend that everyone should, maybe not with her, maybe with anybody, but counseling sessions are very important. It need not be from a doctor, like from a psychologist. Anybody can counsel, like even our friends, family members, anybody can counsel us. Just a person to whom we can just open up and tell them what we feel, so that they can take our fears out. She didn't give me any medicine, or she didn't really come to my place and she solved any problem. It's just through her talks, she took off that fear, and then I was a really fearless and bold person after attending her sessions. So it worked like magic for me. And then I started taking everything positively, and I went through it. So I was going through all my chemotherapy sessions, and this is what is my observation, what I observed I observed myself during the chemo sessions of my first round. So this was like chemotherapy, as I told, it adds years to your life. It increases your lifespan. So how can it be bad? So before that, I was like, oh, chemotherapy is like something very scary and something, भगवान करे किसी को ना आए. Obviously, it should be किसी को भी नहीं आए, but इतना भी बुरा नहीं है कि you are just hate it. There's no need to hate. If we get cancer, then chemotherapy is the only cure. So when it is curing you, how can it be bad? If it is letting you spend few more years with your family, with your kids, then how can it be bad? So through my observation, I see that chemotherapy adds years to life. And it is a period of healing. It is not a period of torture. It is a period of healing. It heals. Otherwise, cancer is just ready to put a full stop on the life. It is like an eraser which is erasing that full stop and not trying that life should continue. And strong willpower is very, very important. If we have a body as it is becomes very weak, we have no control over it. The medicines will obviously make our body weak. But strong willpower is something which comes from inside. So strong willpower is very much required to bear the chemotherapy. Then first 4 to 5 days are generally tough, and later on it settles. So the first week may be little tough, and then the other 2 weeks were okay. Then symptoms can be controlled through medicines. Symptoms are generally, if we are treated symptomatically, I think we can manage the symptoms. The chemotherapy always has a cumulative effect. The first chemotherapies will not be that harsh when compared to the later ones. So by the end of the sessions, it becomes more and more harsh. So it has a cumulative effect. And contact with the doctor, treating doctor, is very important, because if we have some symptom, immediately I was reporting to the doctor and they were guiding me with the medication, and it was getting settled. So contact has to be there. Nothing has to be hidden from the treating doctor. And if this period goes well, half the battle is done. I think this is the most difficult period for any cancer fighter. So if this goes well, half the battle is won, and we are ready to face the next half of it. So that way the chemotherapy went well for me, and I had few problems as I have discussed, but that was okay, that I could handle. So it went well, and I was ready for the surgery. Now this was a big decision for me. It became a very big decision because by the time I finished my chemotherapy session, my BRCA report was ready. So BRCA report was as expected, it was positive. That means I had a very healthy lifestyle, very healthy, I was very fit, and I never had any kind of medical sickness, any kind of sickness throughout my life. So I was like, why did I get? I mean, there's no reason. I don't drink, I don't smoke. Why should I get cancer? So that was revealed through BRCA test that I got it through my genes, as my mother was a breast cancer patient, and her sisters also had breast cancer. So that's the conclusion that was drawn. And it happens in very rare cases. Not that if for everybody whose mother has got breast cancer, the daughter will surely get. No, it happens in very rare cases. So I was one of those rare cases, and there is nobody to blame. It's not like I can blame my mother. It happens naturally. Nobody can be blamed for that. But that was the truth. Then for that, doctor told me that it's better to get full removal of the breast. Then and there is a full chances of like maybe around 70 to 80% chances that I might get in my second breast also. And so I just asked doctor, okay, which treatment is best for me? I want to live more number of years with my kids. I need a lifespan. It doesn't matter how I look or how I feel. I need more number of years in my life. So I asked him which approach would be better. So he suggested me to go for double mastectomy. And he also suggested a reconstruction, for which I was not ready. So I went for double mastectomy along with oophorectomy, that is removal of ovaries, because ovaries are connected with breast cancer, and that also has a chance in the future of getting cancer. So I went, I had decided, it was a very big decision for me, and I needed to convince my kids also, because in the future, they were that time 14 and 12. That time they were not like really bothered about not bothered, like they were not really concerned about what kind of decision I was taking. But when they grow up and if they see me in a different, physique, they will question me, like, so I thought, okay, let me include them in my decision making. So I gave them an option. See, if you want a mother who looks normal but may or may not live with you for longer, or you want a mother who may not look so normal but can live with you a little more longer. So obviously they chose the second option. So that way I included them, and so that they don't hold me responsible in the future for my decision. So now they are with me, and my husband was with me, even he had no issues. So with full confidence, I went for my surgery. So on September 17th, 2018, I got my surgery done. Surgery day was okay for me. I was totally prepared for it. Obviously, I felt sorry for myself, but then my counselor had mentally prepared for me to use prosthesis, and I had to, if I had to lose something to gain something, I have to lose it. So my surgery went really well, and I was there in hospital for 3 to 4 days. The drains were there, and the drains also were out by 10 days, and I was okay. The surgery period went really well for me. I took proper rest. Thanks to my mother-in-law, she took care of everything else, and the surgery period went well. And the next was again the next round of chemotherapy. That was weekly once. That I was expecting that it to be very light and not easy types. I took it very lightly and easily, but that was not the case. In fact, in the second round of chemotherapy, I had more problems. Sometimes I used to have episodes of severe shivering, and once I had, my heartbeat raised, so I had to be hospitalized. So as I told you, chemotherapy has cumulative effects. So towards the end, it becomes difficult to handle it, more difficult to handle it. And after the surgery, one more very big problem I faced was lymphedema, the swelling in the side of the surgery, swelling in the arm. So I had, on the right side, I had my surgery. So the lymphedema was on my right arm. The arms started swelling, and it became very difficult for me to do any kind of work. Like we use right hand for most of our work, and the right hand became weak. So I couldn't do lot of things. It became weak. It became bulged. Then for that, again, I went to HCG hospital. They asked me to take physiotherapy. I took physiotherapy under Dr. Mudassir. It really helped me, but still I'm working on it. It's still not cured. It's been almost 2 years now, and I'm working on it. It's better, but it's not fully healed. So I don't think it will heal also. I have to just manage it with exercise and compression garments, physiotherapy, yoga, therabands. I use all sorts of things. Whole day I keep my concentration is only on my right hand, so that it should be in a working condition. What if I not able to use my right hand? I will really become handicapped. So that problem was started after surgery due to the removal of lymph nodes. When the lymph nodes are removed, the lymphatic liquid gets collected in the hand. So it arises because of that, and still there, but it's become less. It's definitely less. I'm able to use my hand normally. Only thing is that I cannot lift weight, heavy things I cannot lift. So that precaution I take. Otherwise, I'm okay with it. Then the by January 16th, 2019, my chemotherapy sessions were over. Then next I was guided for radiotherapy under Dr. Beliappa. So there was nothing specific in that. Only I had to go 5 days a week for 5 weeks to get the therapy done. And it took just 2 minutes for that process, and I had to just wear loose cotton clothes. So nothing else. I didn't have any problems during that period. And on by March 10th, 2019, my medical oncologist, Dr. Shekhar Patil, he said that I am cancer free and I can live my normal life. So it was like a storm came and it went, and it left everything disturbed and devastated. I had to collect everything back and look forward to my new life. So that was the challenge for me at that time. And he had put me on hormone therapy. So anastrozole is what he suggested for me, because I was my hormones, estrogen and progesterone, were positive. So they had to rule out those hormones. So for that, he has given me anastrozole, which is again causing its own side effects. Anastrozole will eventually make my bones weak. So I have to take care that I get proper sunshine. My vitamin D levels are fine. I have I take calcium supplements, and I take care that I don't do any sports activity, especially, so that it's related to bones. I don't damage my bones for any reason. And exercise and all is helping me to do that. My bones, my joints are becoming stiff day by day, but it can be managed with exercise, as he told, and I'm doing it as per his instructions. But I have no other option. I have to take hormone therapy for the next 7 years. So that's what he has told, to bear with the symptoms unless it is very severe, to bear with it and continue with the medication. So this is all about this was all about the treatment that I took. So the new now normal life was beginning for me. The hair started coming slowly. It was giving me new looks. So that was a new experience on its own. And I started feeling more energetic. Like slowly the energy was coming back, and I was getting back to my normal work. Due to COVID, I was not able to join my office work, but when this situation comes down, I'll get back to my office work also. So life was getting back normal, and I was trying to forget the whatever happened. So what all helped me in this process of overcoming, I'll just share with you all. The exercise, yoga, meditation, and walking. These were like 4 pillars that were holding me throughout. It gave a lot of flexibility to me, as surgery and chemotherapy and my lymphedema, everything. They brought a lot of stiffness in my body. So flexibility I got only through these things. Like these are the 4 things apart from medication. Like medication will do its own job, but these 4 things, exercise, yoga, meditation, and walking, they are like doing the other half of it. They are a supportive system. Without this, it is difficult for anybody to come out of cancer. So it gives better recovery. The recovery becomes faster. The strength gain is more. immunity booster. It boosts the immunity. Maybe we may not realize immediately, but eventually it gives lot of immunity. Then reduces stress. What all we would have undergone lot of stress, so it reduces stress. Then for me, the lymphedema, it controlled my lymphedema. And also I became diabetic during this whole treatment. Before that I was not diabetic, so it also controls sugar levels and prevent recurrence. So after getting all the treatment, the only thing we pray to God is, oh God, like, let me not get it again. So when the people who do a lot of walking and exercising after the treatment have less chances of recurrence when compared to the people who don't do. So it is that's the biggest advantage of these things. And I was guided to yoga and meditation by Dr. Deepashri when I was when I just finished my surgery. So immediately after my surgery, she was there to guide me. Initially, I didn't trust her, to be very honest. I just, okay, she's telling something to do, I'll do it. But when I did, I realized that how much helping it was. Then I took many sessions I took under her. And now it's become a part of my life, doing the everyday yoga exercise, and I'm benefiting a lot from it. So I strongly recommend yoga, meditation, exercising, and walking. Walking initially for maybe 10 to 15 minutes I started, and now I'm doing it for 30 to 40 minutes. And it gives a lot of stamina. And the most important of it is it controls the sugar levels. So this was all what I did. So few things what I observed was in cancer, when we get cancer, many small things become big. Like I used to not value cooking for my family and sitting with them, spending few little time. That became a big thing for me after that, because I couldn't do, I was deprived of that. So it became really big thing. And the most important was ourself. I used to not consider myself important at all before getting cancer. So I was really small for me. Now I became a big thing for me. Okay, now I became a very most important person for myself. And the little things looks big, and the bigger things becomes small, like the career, the future plans, some planned trips, the luxury, showing off. All that will not have any value, because we understand that these things don't matter. At the end, what matters is us, ourself and our family. So it makes you realize that. A few important points I think most of us already know, but just wanted to tell. That self-examination for any female is very important. Self-examination of breast. I think there are many videos on YouTube which shows how it has to be done properly. So I think I suggest that every female needs to do self-examination of breast. Earlier, if they notice anything abnormal, they can immediately report, because earlier it is detected, it is more chances of survival is there. And cancer is not the end of life. There is a beautiful life after that. In fact, much better, because we start valuing things a lot. We start valuing life. So cancer, if it is detected in a treatable period, I think with treatment, it should not be considered as the end of the life. Then timely treatment is very important, with full instructions of the doctor. The doctor's instructions has to be followed. My doctor asked me not to take any Ayurvedic or homeopathic medicines, so I didn't go for it. I just went only as per his instructions. So for me, doctor's instructions were very important, and I didn't use my own ideas to cure myself. Then sympathy is not required for any cancer fighter or cancer survivor. No sympathy is required. The only thing they need is help, help only during the treatment period. I think after they have been treated, they are themselves strong enough to help themselves. And so sympathy is just not required for any cancer fighter. And last thing I want to tell is please don't give importance to yourself, be it anybody, any male, female, anybody. Please give importance to yourself and don't wait any cancer to come and tell you that, okay, you are important. So I did that mistake. So I'm telling it that I used to not give any importance to myself, but cancer made me realize. So I just suggest everyone, please give importance to yourself, your hobbies, your own wishes, your whatever you want to do in life. Even at least for little time of the day, give yourself, and don't wait any cancer to come and make you do that. So that is what I want to suggest. And at the end, I would like to mention about my mom. She, as I told you, she also had breast cancer. At the age of 60, she got breast cancer, and along with uterine cancer. So she had that time no counselors, no helpers. They were like only my mom and my dad were there at home. She didn't have any helpers, just one helper she had, and no other counselors, nor any other family member with them. And she didn't have any mobile phone, nor no YouTube videos and all to guide her. But only through her strong willpower, she was able to come out of cancer, and so well that she survived for 18 years. And just before 6 months, I lost her, not due to cancer, but due to heart attack. So, but she was very well cured only through her strong willpower. And when I was getting treated, the only thing she told me was, you know, be strong. That's all. When I can bear it at the age of 60, you can also bear it at the age of 36. It's okay. Life will be normal. You will forget everything. Only thing, you have to keep yourself strong and bear with it. Everything will be fine. So it was not easy for a mother to tell her daughter, who herself has gone through the pain. But she's my inspiration. So I just always look upon her. Now she's not with me, but still I look upon her for any difficulties. So I just particularly wanted to mention her because I feel she's without any privileges, any guidance. She, by her own, she came out of it really well. So just to sum up my my talk, I have written a poem. I have become a poet from past 2 months. I don't know how suddenly I became a poet. So I just wrote a little few lines, which says, maybe it creeps slowly and plunges its claws deeper, makes the road to life narrower and steeper, but still, strong will, optimism, timely medical care with determination, few helping hands along with yoga and meditation, definitely blows away the darkness of sorrow and fright, giving way to the life, new life spread its light. Okay, thank you so much.
Priyanka ji, I think a fantastic way to sum it up. We really love your poem. I think it's very motivational, and I'm sure it will inspire a lot of people. So I request participants here. You can actually unmute and can also start your video so that maybe we can have a common discussion. If there are any questions, please go ahead. And maybe I think Neha ji, Manjula ji, and Veena ji, you had your own experiences. If you would like to share some of your own experiences here, please go ahead. Anybody?
हेलो
हाँ बोलिए.
हाँ जी
हाँ
मैं
नेहा.
शेयर करना चाहती हूँ
हाँ
कुछ
नेहा जी, हाँ जरूर करिए, प्लीज बताइए.
हाँ जी मुझे 2016 में कैंसर डायग्नोज हुआ था जब मेरा बड़ा बेटा 10 साल का था और मेरी सेकंड प्रेगनेंसी चल रही थी. उस टाइम हम लोग को 2-3 डॉक्टर्स ने सजेस्ट किया था कि आप अबॉर्शन करवाइए बिकॉज कीमो उस टाइम पे बता रहे थे कि बच्चे के लिए सेफ नहीं रहेंगे.
ओके.
हमने डॉक्टर अडवाणी जी को बॉम्बे में दिखाया था,
हम्म।
तो उन्होंने कहा था कि हम लाइट कीमो देंगे और आपका बेबी सेफली बाहर आ जाएगा। तो उस दौरान मुझे प्रेगनेंसी में 3 कीमो लगे।
ओके।
हाँ जी। उसके बाद मेरा डिलीवरी हुआ, डिलीवरी के फिर 25 डेज के बाद मेरा नेक्स्ट 4th कीमो स्टार्ट हो गया था। तो उसके बाद मेरे 3 कीमो और लगे। मैं HER2 पॉजिटिव थी, मेरा ट्रिपल पॉजिटिव था, तो मुझे हर्सेप्टिन के 17 कीमो भी लगे हैं आफ्टर डिलीवरी। और मेरे एस्ट्रोजन ये ERPR से मुझे एक ल्यूप्रोडेक्स, मुझे हार्मोन्स का इंजेक्शन लगा था, जो मुझे अभी इसी जनवरी 2020 में मेरे बंद किए गए हैं।
ओके।
अभी तक वो भी मेरे एवरी 3 मंथ्स के गैप में चल रहे थे। तो
तो अभी आप कैसा फील कर रही हैं, आप इतने लंबे
अभी
से
अभी
आप
तो मैं जो आज हूँ, मैं शायद वो उस टाइम पे 2016 में भी मैं ऐसी ही थी, बिकॉज मैं डेस्टिनी में बहुत बिलीव करती हूँ, मेरी फैमिली बहुत बिलीव करती है। तो मुझे जो एक चीज मेरी मदर ने सिखाई थी कि लाइफ में अगर जीना है, भगवान ने ऊपर दिया है आपको जिंदगी, तो आप जी कर जाओगे। और मैं इस चीज को बहुत बिलीव करती हूँ, बिकॉज अगर मुझे जो चीज फील हुई थी लम्प, वो मुझे 4th मंथ में फील हो गया था
ओके।
मेरी प्रेगनेंसी के। और ये बढ़ते बढ़ते जो मेरा डायग्नोज हुआ है, मेरा FNSE हुआ है, वो जब तक हुआ जब तक मेरा 6 लग चुका था।
ये तो काफी टाइम लग
तो
गया आपको बीच में।
हाँ जी, हाँ 2 महीने में। मतलब मैं एक्चुअली उस टाइम मेरी प्रेगनेंसी में डॉक्टर्स ने कहा था कि वो प्रेगनेंसी में ये दूध की गठाने मतलब बता रहे किसी को हो जाती है, तो वो ऐसे करते करते वो टाइम बढ़ता चला गया।
ओके।
तो मैं इस चीज को इतनी बिलीव करने लग गई हूँ कि अगर मेरा छोटा बेटा अगर नहीं आना होता, तो शायद मेरा 2nd, 3rd, 4th मंथ में मुझे डायग्नोज हो जाता। तो डॉक्टर इतना लंबा कंटिन्यू नहीं करते, वेट नहीं करते, वो अबॉर्शन ही होता, जो मुझे 6 मंथ में भी एक्चुअली बोला गया था। तो मेरी प्रेगनेंसी पीरियड में जैसे कीमो लगे, मेरी डिलीवरी बहुत सेफली हुई, मेरा बेटा हो गया छोटा वाला अभी। तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है उसने आना लिखा था इस वर्ल्ड में, तो मेरा कैंसर थोड़ा सा 1st स्टेज से प्राइमरी स्टेज से 3rd स्टेज पे आ गया था।
तो
तो बस
अभी आप ठीक है?
हाँ जी, अभी मैं एकदम ऑल राइट।
तो उस समय जब आपका ट्रीटमेंट चल रहा था, तो आई मीन व्हाट वर योर चैलेंजेस, आपके सबसे ज्यादा मुश्किल?
चैलेंजेस तो ये थी कि जैसे फर्स्ट कीमो में था कि एवरीबॉडी की जैसे लाइफ सबकी की एक लाइक कैंसर मींस डेथ, एक दिमाग में एक है माइंडसेट अभी भी लोगों का। तो एक फर्स्ट जब मुझे कीमो प्लान हुआ था तब मेरा वो पेनफुल था। अदरवाइज सेकंड कीमो में मुझे याद भी नहीं है मैं कब ऐसे कभी मैंने सोचा हो कि मैं मर जाऊंगी या मेरा क्या होगा, नथिंग। डॉक्टर्स ने कहा था कि बच्चा सेफली बाहर आएगा, तो मेरा एक होप था कि नहीं यार, डॉक्टर ने कहा है इस चीज के लिए लड़ना है कि बच्चा बाहर आएगा। तो और नेक्स्ट टाइम जब मुझे डिलीवरी के बाद जैसे 25 डेज में ही मैं मतलब मेरा छोटा बेटा 25 डेज का था, तब मुझे 4th कीमो लग चुका था और वो काफी पेनफुल था। बट उस टाइम एक होप था, एक चैलेंज था कि इन बच्चों के लिए खड़ा होना है, क्योंकि मेरा ऑलरेडी 6 साल का एक बेटा था और ये मेरा बिल्कुल 6 महीने का था। तो उस टाइम ये था कि नहीं यार, बच्चों के लिए लड़ना है, बच्चों के लिए खड़े होना है। तो मुझे ये एक्चुअली पता नहीं है कि मेरा ट्रीटमेंट कितना कितना लंबा जा रहा है, मुझे बस ये था कि हाँ ट्रीटमेंट चल रहा है, रेडिएशन चल रहा है, मेरा रेडिएशन के बीच में मेरे बच्चों को भी मुझे देखना है। तो बस यही सब चीजों का मेरे साथ चैलेंजेस था, जो मेरी स्मूथली चलती भी चली गई और कंप्लीट भी हो गया।
तो बहुत बहुत बढ़िया, एंड वी विश यू ऑल द बेस्ट नेहा जी।
थैंक
थैंक यू
यू सो
फॉर
मच,
शेयरिंग।
थैंक यू।
और एक जैसे कि अभी प्रियंका जी भी बता रही थी, सो आप ऐसा नहीं है, अभी आप आपके चेहरे से देख के तो आप बहुत ही हैप्पी और बहुत पॉजिटिव लग रही हैं, बहुत अच्छी बात है। और आई थिंक आप उस समय भी ऐसी ही रही होंगी जैसा आप
हाँ जी, मैं पॉजिटिव उस टाइम पे भी थी, मैंने नेगेटिविटी को नहीं आने दिया था, मुझे
और
पता था कि मुझे पॉजिटिव ही रहना है।
बहुत अच्छी बात है। बट आई थिंक आप अपनी केयर लेते रहिए इसको।
हाँ जी,
ये एक्सपीरियंस है, और जिनको एक बार हो जाता है पर उनके लिए थोड़ा रिस्क ज़्यादा रहता है।
हाँ
बट
जी, हाँ जी।
आप अपने हेल्थ को अभी कभी भी आगे भी
नहीं 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 नहीं,
ये मत
वो भी
करिए।
एक है।
हाँ,
मतलब मैं
तो
वही चीज आपको
इसको
बताना चाहती हूँ कि
भूल मत
लाइफ
जाइए, इसको
में
रखे रहिए।
ये चीज चैलेंजेस तो आए हैं, लेकिन उसने मुझे सिखाया है सेल्फ पैम्परिंग, जो कहना चाहिए कि मैं कभी अपने बारे में कभी इतना सोचती नहीं थी, लेकिन आज कैंसर के बाद मुझे ऐसा लगता है पहले मैं हूँ, मतलब लगता है कि लाइक आप ब्यूटीफुल हो, लेकिन कैंसर के बाद लगता है आप बहुत ज्यादा ब्यूटीफुल हो। आप
जी, बिल्कुल सही
पहले
बात।
अपने लिए सोचिए,
बिल्कुल
बच्चे हैं लेकिन पहले मैं अपने लिए सोचना चाहती हूँ कि मैं खुश रहना चाहूंगी और मैं खुश रहूंगी तो मेरे बच्चे खुश रहेंगे।
तो इस बात पे एक्चुअली मैं हमेशा ये एग्जांपल, मैं जिनसे बात करता हूँ उनको मैं एक कोट करता हूँ कि जब आप एयरप्लेन में जाते हैं ना कभी भी, सो देन व्हाट डू दे टेल यू कि जब भी इमरजेंसी के कारण पहले अपना ऑक्सीजन मास्क लगाइए और फिर अपने आजू बाजू को अगर आप हेल्प कर सकते हैं तो करिए। तो इसी तरह लॉजिक यही है, फर्स्ट अगर आप अपना ऑक्सीजन मास्क लगाएंगी then you will be stronger and safer. Then there are so many people who around you who look up to you, जो आपके ऊपर डिपेंडेंट है, जो आपको चाहते हैं, आपके बच्चे हैं, फैमिली है। सो अगर आप स्ट्रांग रहेंगी तो वो सब भी स्ट्रांग रहेंगे।
आई थिंक हम लेडीज के लिए बच्चे जो है ना वो सबसे बड़ा ड्राइविंग फोर्स रहते हैं। यू नो बच्चों के लिए तो हमको कुछ भी लड़ना ही है और सरवाइव करना ही है। सो बच्चे आर द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट। बट अभी कैंसर होने के बाद हम खुद भी इम्पॉर्टेंट हो जाते हैं अपने लिए। बट कैंसर के दौरान आई थिंक बच्चे इज द गाइडिंग फोर्स। नहीं, बच्चों के लिए खड़ा होना है तो होना ही है। इट्स ओके।
सही बात है। So one more thing I will like to re-emphasize is कि there are 4 pillars I think प्रियंका जी ने ही बताया था और ये सबको करना ही चाहिए। वो है पहला योगा, मेडिटेशन, डाइट, न्यूट्रिशन। क्योंकि ये बहुत हम लोग नेग्लेक्ट करते हैं। मतलब हमारा डाइट तो मुझे लगता है कि इतना ख़राब है। हम लोग बोलते हैं घर का खाना ठीक है, बट वेदर उसमें सारे न्यूट्रिएंट और ये सब कवर हो रहा है कि नहीं, वो हम लोग सोचते नहीं है। सो वो सोचना चाहिए। और जितना हो सके नेचुरल फूड और सप्लीमेंट, एक्सरसाइज, ये सारी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ें हैं जो लॉन्ग टर्म हेल्थ बेनिफिट के लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। तो इनको चाहे आपको कैंसर हो या नहीं, एज अ प्रिवेंटिव केयर मेथड या इवन आगे जाके, अभी एक बार हो गया उससे आप ठीक हो चुके हैं, लेकिन उसमें भी हाउ कैन यू मेंटेन ऑल दिस थिंग्स विल हेल्प अ लॉट। बॉडी बहुत डायनामिक होती है, वो खुद अपने आप को हील कर सकती है, बट आपको वो इनपुट, उसको सही इनपुट अगर आप नहीं देंगे अपनी बॉडी को तो वो नहीं कर पाएगी। तो अच्छा खाना खाना, अच्छा एनवायरनमेंट, पोल्यूशन से दूर रहना, और जितना आप अच्छे एनवायरनमेंट और उसको इनपुट हम जो दे सकते हैं, एक्सरसाइज, बॉडी को एक्सरसाइज चाहिए, नहीं तो आपके मसल्स इनहेरेंटली वीक हो जाते हैं अगर मसल्स को एक्सरसाइज नहीं मिलती है तो ऑल दोज बॉडीली मूवमेंट्स हैव टू बी डन। और मेडिटेशन इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू लर्न बिकॉज इट गिव्स यू, इट विल टेक, अगर आप करेंगे तो आपको एक्सपीरियंस होगा कि इट विल टेक यू टू अ डिफरेंट लेवल ऑफ कामनेस एंड मेंटल पीस, जिससे आप ये छोटे मोटे, जिसको हम आजकल स्ट्रेस एक फैशन स्टेटमेंट हो गया ना, स्ट्रेस, बहुत काम कर रहा हूँ मैं आजकल और बहुत स्ट्रेस हो रहा है। So this has become, पता नहीं stress, I mean who can define what is stress, but essentially it is आपका mental peace नहीं है, that is what it means। but mental peace ना होना itself is a cause of chronic diseases, चाहे वो कैंसर हो या कोई और chronic issue हो। but इन सब बातों को ध्यान में रखना बहुत ज़रूरी है। इट इज़ वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू कीप ऑल दिस थिंग्स इन माइंड, ये लॉन्ग टर्म बेनिफिट के लिए और ओवरऑल जिनको अभी एक बार कैंसर हो चुका है उनके रिस्क को रिड्यूस करने के लिए, ताकि आगे ना हो। तो वो हमेशा आपको ध्यान में रखना है। सेल्फ पैम्परिंग इज द वे टू गो, बट यू हैव टू पैम्पर इट इन द राइट वे। पैम्पर करना मतलब वापस बैड डाइट या फिर तरफ जाना नहीं है। पैम्पर करना है मतलब उसको, बॉडी को जो अच्छी चीज़ें चाहिए उसमें फोकस करना इज द राइट वे टू गो। एंड Manjula ji, if you have, and Veena ji, if you want to say, share anything, please go ahead.
Hello, sir. I suffered in 2016, but I was a counselor. Means I did 1 year diploma in Banjara Academy.
Okay.
So I was able to face it in a good way. Means in a challenging way, I have accepted.
Okay.
And each day I used to learn. Means I used to does and don'ts
Yes.
of the treatment.
Yes.
Okay, all the process. Okay, and what are the result out of that? I used to study. So I used to take it as a lively way. I used to go for the treatment.
So Abhi, you are recovered fully now. You are okay now.
Yes, sir.
Very nice, very nice. So continue to take care of yourself. Don't neglect your health. Keep that in the center.
Yes, because since everybody will tell no, I went to counselor. So this was because of my strongness is my counseling course.
Very nice, very nice. It's very nice to know. I think that is very good.
Thank you.
So keep going. Keep positive and going. Okay. So any other comments? Otherwise, I think we can close this session. Just one last point we'd like to share. keep in this COVID. I think we talked about new normal. I think the COVID is teaching the world a
Hello,
new.
sir.
Yeah.
One information I want.
Tell me.
During this COVID, there is no chemos held by the doctors. So everybody is surviving. Means they are not having any further difficulties. Okay, only surgery is done for the patient. I am also watching because since doctor only informed there is no chemo, then how can they live longer? For because for us they told immediately you need to take chemo, immediately you have to be do surgery, and immediately radiation, like that continuous one after the other. It was means they were advised us to take the treatment. But now the COVID has made them to postpone their treatment. Okay, how far it is benefit for the patient and how far it is means educating patient, like see, we can also postpone some treatment, like for some or the other reason.
No, madam, I think
It may be a money or it may be a work.
no, there are many factors here, but I think what we have to understand is the doctors will evaluate the risk part of it. Okay, so some cancers are aggressive, but some cancers may not be so aggressive. For aggressive, if
Is the carcinoma carcinoma
so, some
carcinoma is a very
no, not so. Even for example, if you talk of breast cancer, even within breast cancer, there are 6, 7 different types of cancers. There are six,
okay.
7 different types of cancer. Some cancers grow slowly. Okay, they will not spread. So again, there are different types. One is a metastatic type of cancer. Other is non-metastatic. So non-metastatic type of cancer has a tendency to spread in other parts of the body. Okay, it will tend to spread. It may go to lymph nodes. It may go to other parts. So metastatic is more riskier because it will spread. So it is more aggressive. Some other types of cancers, they will not spread. They were localized. So which means if some tissue in the breast is affected, maybe it will take either a very long time to maybe more number of years to actually develop into an aggressive. So it was local. So doctors will assess what type of cancer it is, whether it is aggressive, whether it is non-aggressive. So based on that, because now why I think some of the doctors are suggesting in this way is chemotherapy will reduce your immunity. Plus, going hospitals are a public place. You go there, and if you somehow, if you actually, there's a risk of catching COVID if you go, right? So you have to balance the risk. Whether because you should not that whether you're going for treatment of cancer and you get in return you get affected by COVID is not a good thing. It's not a really good thing. Plus, people who are undergoing, let's say you have already started with chemotherapy, their immunity will be low. So at that point of time, it is advisable to not get into situations where you may contract diseases like COVID, where so people having comorbidities, they will actually they tend to suffer more. Okay, so the COVID itself might become difficult situation to handle rather than the other issue. So that is why they may suggest, but it is not like so for patients where aggressive cancers are there, they will go. They have to go. So actually, there are some members from my family who actually went for their radiation to hospitals. They had to go because it was detected and it was the right way to go. So if you are advised not to go, you should ask your doctor, how does it balance? What is the risk? Whether what is the cancer? You must understand. Okay, what my suggestion is, you must understand and ask the right questions to the doctor. Get a good grasp on what is happening, why the doctor is suggesting something, why he is not suggesting something. So ask those questions. You have the right to know. Ask them what are they thinking. Okay, because what is the logic you should know. And plus,
Yes, yes.
so why they are, if they are suggesting don't go for chemotherapy, you should ask them, why are you suggesting? What is the risk of going or doing or not doing? If I don't do, will it return? So they will give you some logic. Okay, and
And also,
even if you have to go, you can actually, then you should take higher number of precautions, because as you are saying, the COVID has taught the world a new normal now. They are if you are not protecting yourself, you have to be extremely hygiene oriented. You have to protect yourself very strongly, wearing masks and everything. You have to protect, particularly if you are a patient, you have to protect all the more strongly. So keep those considerations in mind and have conversations with your doctor. Ask them what is their logic, why are they suggesting, maybe it is better. And at the same time, I suggest, there are 4 things. I think you are a counselor yourself, so counseling is one big part of it. Include yoga, diet, nutrition, naturopathy, herbal things, include that as part of your daily diet. Okay, you may not see the effect today because it is not like a pill. Okay, today you eat paracetamol and in the evening your fever is gone. It doesn't work that way, but it will work in a way where your body becomes stronger over the years. Okay, or you will not realize it,
Yes.
but inherently it will become stronger. Your capacity to build and fight cancer cells in the body itself will become stronger. So one tip I will like to give for everybody here is, if you don't have diabetes, no sugar issues, you should actually think eating green salads and raw vegetables is very good thing. Your body assimilates naturally from the natural foods faster. Okay, ragi is a very rich source of calcium for women, particularly because they tend to get calcium deficiency as they age because of hormonal imbalance and changes. So ragi you should eat. I think Karnataka, I think ragi mudde is a
Ragi Paul.
standard dish, ragi mudde. So it is very rich in calcium. So ragi you should eat. And then if you know, there are different types of millets are there. Millets are very rich in fiber. You should make them part of your diet. Don't lose this.
And one more thing, doctor was suggesting, sir, he BMAGD. See, only if you are hungry after cancer or before cancer, only if you are hungry, then only you eat. Otherwise, do not feed like a time-oriented person.
Yeah.
So that is the one option I have adopted now, sir.
So how do
Only
you
when
feel after doing it?
consumption of energy, then only I will eat. Otherwise, I won't eat.
No. So how do you feel after you try that? Are you feeling good?
See, I have a thyroid hypothyroidism, sir. Because of that, I am experiencing my body as a light.
Very nice.
And mind also to think twice. Okay, it is active only.
Very nice. Very good. Yeah, that is true. That is true, because sometimes we follow the clock, may not be always required. So yeah, but whatever you eat, you have to give that gap. And I think
Healthy.
now for that matter, even fasting has been scientifically proven. No, I mean, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but last year's Nobel Prize was given in medical science, was given to a guy who did his research and proved that fasting actually helps to cure and improve our health. No? This was the Nobel Prize. And fasting has been an integrate form of Indian culture, no, for whatever reason. What maybe the logic given was not from a scientific perspective, maybe the logic given was from a different perspective, but fasting comes naturally to all Indians, I think. And I think you should adopt it if you can.
Sir, one more question, sir, because I am having a thyroid from past 2 years, but the thing is I am taking the tablets, but it is not going because I am taking this medicine for this one 5 years of this one. What is that? I am not getting the medicine words.
Yeah, Thyrox.
Thyroxine. Yeah.
Is,
Anabros, I think so.
okay.
So that is a 5 years they have asked me to take. So because of that, I am having this thyroid problem. Whether it will go after that?
No, so whether it will go is a difficult question. One, I am not a doctor, madam, so I cannot answer your question.
No. Just as a suggestion, you can ask with the doctors.
Yeah. Okay. What I think you should do is, I think for all these specific things that you have in mind, you can actually you can try yoga and naturopathy. Okay, it helps. It will help. For example, one simple thing that you can do is you should do actually pranayama. Pranayama actually helps a lot across varied. So you can actually try that. If you want, we can arrange for our expert to talk to you, but we can take it offline. If you,
okay, now no doctor, sir. I thought of going to Dharmasthala. This one.
Yeah, you can go there. They are also they are very good.
Naturopathy.
They are very good naturopathy things. You can actually try that. That's a good thing. You can try.
Okay, sir. Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks for good session, sir, and also thankful to everyone, sir, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Very happy you could join, and take care. Okay. Are there any more points? Hello. We can't hear you. Veena madam, are you speaking?
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me.
You're able to hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you for this wonderful session. I could go experience the journeys that everyone has gone. So I would also like to share my experience so far, whatever I have learned or been through. So yes, to start off with, I would like to say that yes, this 2020 has been a tough year for everyone.
Correct.
So it has s- brought an extra toughness to me with the situation, in the situation wherein in the month of Feb I felt some discomfort. I mean, I've some discomfort I felt, and I went to my gynec, and wherein my gynec suggested me that let us get some further testings done to understand and rule out cancer, being a young life. So then that is how the journey started. In the month of February and somewhere in January, March, the lockdown was announced. So with this lockdown, the journey became a little tough and the things got a little delayed. So it actually got the news got disclosed to me somewhere in the April, month of April, that yes, it is an early stage carcinoma that is detected. So after that the journey went. So means here I am single and I stay with my parents, and my family was not able to come in. They were not physically present in me, but then yes, connected through telephones, video calls and everything. So virtual connection was there. So in that phase it was like, initially what do we do, how do we go ahead, because nobody has had any, my family has not had any history of this. And personally knowing me, my family knew that I am a person who's have led an active life. So this should not happen to anyone, but definitely not to Veena, who's living such an active life. But then I am an yoga enthusiast. Practice yoga and everything, so I guess that had already prepared me mentally and psychologically. So when the news broke out to me, i I did not break down. I was like, a sense of acceptance was already there. And and considering the lockdown, I thought that I should not be broken, because then things would get more worse and moving ahead will become more difficult with your senior citizen parents being around you and your family not able to being come close to you. It is better that you stand up and you take the calls and the decisions and go ahead. So it was, the next step was that what is the further course of action to be done. So I kept meeting doctors and everything and took second opinions. Finally the conclusion was, we'll go ahead for the surgery and then the chemotherapy and the radiations. So that is in the meanwhile my family also tried, and uh, my younger sister joined me. So it is until the surgery was planned, the major portion of the treatment I had to the consultations, basically I did it on my own. I was traveling all alone, but then my sister joined me, and the surgery went smooth. It was a lumpectomy that was taken. The call was taken for lumpectomy, however a consent was given for mastectomy also. So it was an early stage, and doctor said we should be good going ahead with lumpectomy, followed by 12 cycles of chemotherapy,
Oh,
which my sister accompanied me. So the chemotherapy cycles, yes, I was a bit apprehensive to go ahead with the chemo, the way the people had shared their experiences and everything. But then during that phase there was a slight delay between the surgery and the chemotherapy. So I guess, where we say, then some things happen for good, whatever happens is for good. So during that delayed period I got time for myself to mentally prepare myself for the chemos, and I would say the chemos absolutely went smooth.
oh,
I
great.
mean, it absolutely went very smooth, and I did not realize that I am taking such a hard drug into my body. So, like Priyanka ji said, it has a cumulative effect. So, it was somewhere in the 11th cycle, I had some episode, but then that was also taken care within within a week's time. But then in the time of COVID, undergoing chemotherapy,
Yeah.
wherein you are exposing yourself to reduce your immunity. So I was I would say that God's blessings or whatever holistic approach I was undergoing, that helped me to take it through absolutely smooth. One important thing I would like to mention here is I used to do self-talk before every cycle of my chemo. I used to speak to myself. I used to mentally and physically prepare myself, stating that okay, there is a chemo cycle that I'll be undergoing tomorrow. It is a hard drug that is going to come into the body, but it is a medicine. It will heal me. So my body has to be prepared that it will cooperate with this medicine. So I guess that self-talk helped me a lot to go through these cycles. Subsequently after that, yes, the radiation cycle, it was for a week only, 5 days cycle. That also went very smooth. I mean, the I I completed it recently, and yes, the way people have had experiences, I would say, luckily, because of the young age or my active life, I did not feel, to be frank, not feeling proud of myself. But when I visit the hospitals, till date, doctors tell me ki, okay, where is the patient, please get the patient. So when they look at me, they don't feel like, okay, I am the one who is undergoing the treatment. So a lot apart from the medical treatment, I have taken a holistic approach towards this. Like I said, yoga practices. I have not been doing hardcore asanas and all, but then the loosening exercises. I have taken up to healing sessions. The healing sessions have helped me a lot. It has kept me mentally stable, positive, and it it makes you feel that okay, you are fighting something, you will overcome this. I mean, an anchor kind of a thing. It did not let me down. Many times when you see people around you and the questions like why me and everything, that did not come to me. Apart from that, yes, diet is one main thing that I have been following. Yes, the basic things they say: no dairy, no meat, and avoid oil and wheat, all those things. So I have put a control over those things. And otherwise also, I am a person who loves to have home food, not an outside eater. But then after this coming in, I have put control on lot of things and gone on the fasting. I have not started, but yes, raw diet and controlling my cravings,
Right.
all of those things. And currently, yes, like I said, the hormonal therapy has just started, which doctor has told me I'll have to take a cycle of 12 cycles, 13 cycles, which may continue for another 7 to 8 months,
Mm.
plus the tamoxifen tablet. They want me to have it for a span of 4 to 5 years. So these two things are, I am looking, hoping that some solution comes to me, or how long I am going to continue with this, because I am single and the entire life is ahead of me. So I don't know how things would go ahead, but as of now, I know if I am there, my future is there. And so far, I don't want to look back, but even if I look back, I see a stronger self of mine who fought this entire phase, definitely because of the yoga practices, my family's support to me, the healing sessions that I've taken, all the survivors whom I have spoken to, because the ones who I've spoken to, everyone has overcome it. So now the challenge I feel is the way cancer has been portrayed. It has been portrayed as a dreadful thing, and people, the moment you're told that it's cancer, people connect it to death. So
Correct.
the first and foremost thing is the fear of death has to be removed. And when you speak to survivors, the victors, you come to know that people have, it has turned a blessing for them, and people have changed their lifestyle overall, and they are surviving good 20, 25, 30 years.
Yeah.
So there's nothing to worry that cancer has come. It is definitely come as a blessing, and you have to take charge of your life and change it, and definitely you're going to live longer. There is no, I mean, hardly you will come across people who have not had this positive feeling and lived a happy life, a longer life. So that is what I would like to end it on, a positive note, that yes, rather than dwelling into the things that why me or how things will go ahead, I stopped asking answers for these questions, and I thought, let me move ahead with this, because these questions will hold you down. They
True.
will make you feel stuck. You will not be able to move ahead, and it is very important that right kind of decisions you take at the right time. For me, during lockdown, the doctors were not available, the hospitals were not working, venturing out of the house, and what if any infection do I catch? So there were many things
Correct.
which could have stopped me. And the first thing, Chinmay, is that I never felt any discomfort. Like
Hmm.
people say that there is some discomfort, some pain, some discharge. It is God's grace that I suddenly felt something and I rushed to the doctor. And otherwise this also becomes difficult. People get
Correct.
stuck stating that no, it cannot be cancer, I will not
Correct.
go. And I
Correct.
had all the reasons to highly ignore it, because I did not feel anything. And till date, I am absolutely fine, I am leading any normal life. I
Fantastic.
have not the ailment that I have gone through has never made me feel that something so critical has happened. So I guess we should keep ourselves like everyone.
Hello.
Sorry, yeah, sorry, there was some call coming. So yeah, it is good that we stay positive, speak to survivors from their experiences. It is not necessary that everybody will have the same experiences, but it definitely gives you a comfort, a motivation that if one person has gone through, even I can go through it, and it will be a smooth journey.
True.
Do affirmations. I do a lot of affirmations, and that keeps me positive and going every day. So take it as a blessing, and have a new life. God has given you a charge to create a new life for yourself. So I guess let us take it in that manner and live a healthy and a long life.
Fantastic, Veena ji. I thank you so much for sharing your experience. I think the whole purpose for today's I think meeting is actually met, because I was worried whether people will really connect to the cause, but I am actually very happy that Priyanka ji is already working with me, and Veena ji and Neha ji, even Manjula ji, they have come forward, share their own experiences, which I think, as you rightly said, it will become motivational for people who are fighting this. I am thrilled to hear your stories, and I'm sure it will be inspirational, because it gives confidence to people who are, let's say, newly diagnosed, whether they are maybe having more troubles. I think when they connect and see you or hear you and hear your experiences of how it has been, I think it gives a lot of confidence. And thank you so much, my heartfelt thank you to all of you. One more suggestion I have, if you are willing, I think we are trying to create a team in my social venture. We are trying to create a team like Priyanka ji is already working. If you are interested, so that we can connect to more and more people and give them that confidence. So we are not doctors, that is fine. But for whatever little we can do, I think we should do. Give them that confidence, okay? Give them that mental support. Yeah, things will be okay, and just believe in yourself. Because one thing I'd actually like to say is that, so heart attacks are worse. Heart attacks don't give you a minute time to actually act or survive.
Yes,
They are worse, and they are fatal, right? If you get a bad heart attack, you lose your friends and family, and doesn't give you more than a minute to really act on it. And cancer is not like that. I think you have time, you can prepare yourself, you can work on it. And this will become, and as you rightly said, it transforms people. So if I think you should actually spread this message of this keeping your health, giving your health the right kind of priority, and avoiding all the bad habits that we have accumulated over time. And no, if you can prevent it, nothing like it. But even if you get it, there are examples like you all winners who actually can give people confidence of how to actually tackle and how to meaningfully come out of it. So I thank all of you, and I would also reach all of you after this session. If you are willing to participate in, we can create or maybe start building a stronger team of people like you who can instill confidence in other people also. So thank you so much. So Priyanka ma'am, some closing words from you.
Closing words, I've already told. I summed up everything in that poem what I wrote.
Right. So
Everyone everyone for patiently listening to my story, and I hope it will benefit, you know, benefit
No,
somebody.
I think it will, and I think I thank you for coming today and coming forward and really inspiring people and sharing. I think it really helps in whatever little way. If we are able to touch a few lives, I think it helps. So I think we can all come together and make a more integrative force rather than trying to do it individually. I think if possible, we'll go ahead and continue to do that. So I thank everybody, and if you would like to, one just parting comment, we are actually offering holistic care sessions because of COVID. We are doing it online. So in your friends and family, if you think somebody can benefit or you can benefit, you can reach out to me. Our site is anvay.co. So thank you. With that, I will close the session. Thank you all for your time and efforts. I think
Thank
it
you,
was a very
Chinmay,
good.
for holding this wonderful session and motivating us. Thank you. Thanks a lot. God
Thank you
bless you.
everybody. Bye. Namaste.